Hey, what's up, guys? LegalBro here. Today we're talking about workers' rights under federal contracts. I'm talking about SCA employees. Let's get into it.
Works on a government service contract for a company called RCP. RCP pays Jackson $20 an hour. The company also pays $4.22 an hour in health and welfare.
All right, so you just heard two things. The SCA employee right under this federal contract has a couple of things going on. They have a wage that is hourly, and they have a fringe benefit that is hourly. It was like $4 and change. That's important because those are set under the Service Contract Act, right? They're going to be protected. So that way, imagine you had a construction project, a military industrial complex company, you've got a hospital that's for, say, the Navy, and you have all of these employees, but this government contract is turning over, every couple of years. Well, they don't want the employees to have, some tyrant company come in and gut their wages and benefits. So they set these minimum standards so that way everybody's got to play by the same rules, because otherwise what would happen? Some of these government contractors would come in and they would gut the wages of these employees to pad their bottom line, because obviously, if they get a contract for X, the more they can squeeze out of those workers, right, for less money, the more money they can make, right? It's profitability 101. So in this case, if you're the employee, these SCA employee protections are critical to protecting your hourly wage and your hourly fringe benefit, right? Health and wellness savings or what have you.
Which is not enough to cover his out-of-pocket medical insurance. In Jackson's 4 years with the company, he has not received a pay raise, nor has his health and welfare amount increased. However, his cost of living has increased, as well as his health insurance premiums, costing him more in out-of-pocket expenses. Jackson started to realize this and goes to his supervisor. His supervisor acknowledges Jackson's concerns. Jackson's coworkers have had the same concerns throughout the years, but his supervisor says there's nothing he can do about getting Jackson a raise. So, Jackson is just simply stuck with the supervisor's answer.
This is classic. I've gotten 2 calls about this recently, and they all have to do with the fact that the company with the contract, right, this federal contractor, goes to the employees and they say, you know what, folks, we actually think that you are misclassified. You currently are an SCA protected employee, but you really should be a non-SCA protected employee. And the reason that we've come up with that is because our HR team are way smarter than all the other companies you've worked for. We aren't going to make you repay those fringe benefits, even if we paid them to you in the past, but we're going to stop paying them to you in the future. And the SCA doesn't give up on employees that easily. They would then look toward the Fair Labor Standards Act to see if that worker was an SCA protected worker or if they fell into one of the categories that was exempt, right? So if you look at a medical setting, a physician would not be a protected worker under the SCA because they are in one of the excluded categories under the Fair Labor Standards Act. Very important, because if a company, a federal contractor, can get away with not paying some of these fringe benefits, then they can continue to pad their bottom line.
Maybe there is another option. See, Jackson falls under the Service Contract Act, and under the Service Contract Act of 1965, employees can only be paid one of 2 ways. The first being what is called the wage determination. The wage determination sets the minimum that you can be paid in both wages and in health and welfare. Putting it simply, it is the minimum wage for your classification.
Okay, so that's a really important part. So if you listen to the video, it is talking about how if you're an SCA employee, you have a wage and a benefit determination, and basically that classification is how you are paid. So those standards are not just created out of thin air. Those standards are set by law, and the Department of Labor is the one that oversees that compliance. So if you think that your federal contractor that you're employed by is violating this SCA, either wage or fringe benefit or both, by misclassifying you as a worker as non-SCA, then we should have a chat, because they may be violating federal law. And here's what they could be in trouble for. They may lose their contract. They may lose their right to future contracts. They would have to reimburse you for all of the wages that you should have been paid. Other types of damages. It really all depends on the situation. But the reality is these companies make more money if they pay employees less, and we know that they're doing it. We see companies get sued for this all the time. All right, so there's a quick and dirty on the SCA. If you want to see more about federal employees' rights under the Service Contract Act, leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think. Wage and hour, fringe benefit. This is one of the hottest topics in modern day America because we have so many employees that are getting absolutely shafted by their employer, and it's time for you to fight back. As always, you have any other video ideas, leave them in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Share this video with somebody that you know that's getting shafted by their employer. Love y'all. LegalBro out.